I bet you're looking for some proof. Well, here's your proof right here, baby. That's right. After 4 years, the Amex Platinum card is finally canceled. I'm not receiving any of those benefits, that status, those credits, all these different things any longer. And so some of you might actually be shocked. Some of you might be surprised. Some of you may not be surprised whatsoever. And I hate to say it, but you might be surprised one more time because, well, even though this card is fully canceled and I no longer am paying a $695 annual fee card any longer, I don't think it's going to stay canceled. And I know people are going to hate me for saying that. Do what you want. I don't care. But for those who appreciate real life experiences with real life cards and to actually form an opinion based on things that we're doing out and about, well, you're going to want to listen up to this because this was something that was a bit of a shocker to me. Maybe not so much of a shocker, but I was able to experience not having a platinum card without not having a platinum card, if that makes sense. So let's jump right into it. And before we do, I have to just answer one thing, which is what's my deal with the Amex Platinum card, right? What is the deal with it? And my answer to that is it depends on who you ask. Like, for example, if you ask Silent Avenger, he's going to say I'm the biggest flip flopper in the world and that I'm never going to cancel it. Well, I did. I'm just kidding. So first and foremost, 3 months ago, life was fantastic. I even mentioned in this title why I'll never cancel the Amex Platinum card. And this is why you never say never, because things can change. And life was perfect here, right? I was getting great benefits. I was using my Uber Cash. I was using my FHR credits. I had the best FHR stay of my entire life with the Amex Platinum card just 3 months ago. But then there was a problem. And let's just say something got in my ear. And that something was Calby NG, our our best friends in this space and then really in life. Now, he is a bad influence and he likes to test a lot of different things. And when he came down, we did this whole video that did very well on his channel, which is testing all the concierges out. And that was the Amex Platinum concierge, that was the Visa concierge and MasterCard concierge. And lo and behold, MasterCard ended up doing better than all three. In fact, the Amex Platinum Concierge was basically trash, dog trash, essentially. And that eventually led me down a rabbit hole of seeing, like, if MasterCard can do concierge, what else can it do? Which, after testing a little bit, that spawned this video here, which was essentially testing out the Platinum card again versus MasterCard, and it destroyed it. And then I did a little bit more of a deep dive and realized MasterCard has its own program that is very similar to the Amex Platinum's Fine Hotels and Resorts, which spawned this video. And me again calling up and seeing all the benefits and realizing, yes, you can replace the FHR on the Platinum card. It's not exclusive to that. It's a lot of different cards and a lot of different programs that offer the same stuff. And then eventually putting it all together in this video saying why I don't think I need the Platinum card any longer. It was tying in not needing the hotel specific programs, not needing concierge, not needing some of these credits and benefits. But there was one issue. There was one issue I never could fix. There was one thing I could never replace that the Platinum card offers, and that was lounge access. I think you know where this story is headed. So, in case you guys have not noticed, there has been a new meetup. That's right, this one right here, which is the New Orleans meetup. You can just see right here all the different creators who are there, everybody having a good time, everything for this entire meetup. But there was something I learned throughout this process. Let's just say I was able to live a life without the Platinum card without ever having to cancel it. And let me explain. So, again, bringing up my good friend. Calby NG. He did this recently. He applied for the Capital One Venture X card. He likes to try a lot of different things out, and he wanted to see if he can have a Capital One Venture X card and replace everything that the Amex Platinum card did. And so he tried that. To which also shout out to him because he added me as an authorized user on his VentureX. So finally, the prophecy has been fulfilled. I now am a proud owner of the VentureX, and we could finally complete the Anthony Venture X. Okay, cool. Let's just say that he no longer has his platinum card, and he only has the VentureX as his only premium travel card. Now, I had the ability to hang out with him for a lot of this trip, and I got to talk to him, and I wanted to hear from his mouth his real life experience with living a life without the platinum card. And again, this is all first world problems, by the way, guys. So don't get so crazy, but we like to be a little dramatic. Now, I asked him, how was the entire experience without a platinum card? And there were two main issues that were brought up by him, and he's going to talk about it in his own video. And also the reason why, if you stay tuned, I actually have a plan to re-get the platinum card. without having to reapply for it, and I would get a lot more value out of it and basically easily pay off the annual fee and get a new welcome offer on the Platinum card, even though I've had it in just 1 year. So stay tuned if you want to hear my plan going forward for the Platinum card. But the two things that Calby mentioned that were big issues. So, number one, who guessed it, lounge access, right? This was the thing I was most afraid of. And he lived that life. And unfortunately, we ended up being right. And with his Venture X, and considering he only really flies Delta, he was missing out on one of the biggest benefits of flying Delta, and that is Delta Sky Clubs. And so, with him adventuring with the Venture X, he really only had access, whether it is in Atlanta, where he was actually doing a layover, or just the NOLA, the New Orleans airport, for a couple of lounges that were only accessed through Priority Pass. I think he said the club was one of them, and I think that was pretty much it.
And reason being is he just said that the staff was really rude, there was a really long wait, and he never actually got to go in, which is something he wasn't accustomed to in all the nice staff that he's counted over the years just with Delta or Centurion, what have you.
And I think Atlanta, he just sat at the terminal. So first and foremost, he was already really upset. I mean, he texted me, he was like, this kind of sucks, man. I'm kind of regretting not having the Platinum card at this moment. The fact that in Atlanta, which is a Delta hub, and there's literally a Delta Sky Club in every single concourse, I guess he felt a little bit left out, and left without all of the luxury that people who fly Delta and people who go to Atlanta usually feel. Going to the Delta Sky Clubs, getting all this free food, free drinks right before your flight, like, it's pretty freaking cool when you actually experience it. And well, not being able to experience that really left him regretting, just on that alone, his decision on getting rid of his Platinum card. Okay, so that was one. The second thing is, he also really wanted to hang out in the Centurion Lounge, the new one in Atlanta that I actually did a live stream at when I was there. He also wasn't able to go in there because you don't have a Platinum card. And again, feeling a little bit left out, for these things that we usually would go to when we had the time, like really awesome lounges. The second thing that ended up happening, which I never thought would be like a thing, and I know a lot of people make fun of it, but he also regretted not having Clear. Now, of course, Clear can come on a few different cards in the American Express lineup, but he was getting his Clear membership with the Platinum card. And for those who are unaware, biometric scanning, they have these little terminals here, and essentially they're allowing you to bypass the TSA pre-check line, and usually you're getting ahead of people that much sooner. Now, more often than not, this is not an issue. Anybody who has normal TSA pre-check can usually get through the line fairly easily. But for some reason, when we left New Orleans, this line was long, and he waited about 30 minutes on the TSA pre-check line to actually get through. And Calby's somebody who likes to go fast. And since I had Clear, and I realized there was like nobody online for Clear, my wife and I went through, and we were in and out in maybe, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. And it was even, and that was factoring in, we had to re-update our profile because we haven't used it in a year. So like 5 to 10 minutes with a little delay that wouldn't normally be there. And he was waiting like 30 minutes online. We were just waiting for him. And even though that's a small thing for most people, and you're like, oh, I could never live a life, I could never wait 30 minutes, right? For him, who likes to move fast and has always experienced, fast airport access, he was also regretting a little bit, like, oh, I don't have Clear anymore. So, now that's my time now. So like an extra 30 minutes or 20 minutes, that could be a whole nother meal before your flight at the Delta Sky Club, which I was able to get into. And he was not, unfortunately. But how do you feel now that you first at the airport experience without Clear? How does it feel?
Definitely feel something to be, I guess, wanted. It's crazy though, because it's not every single time, because a lot of times Clear takes longer than TSA pre-check.
Really?
But this time now, Labor Day weekend, I guess, it's a lot longer. Cut in and close. They're boarding in 30 minutes.
Oh, right. Cheers. All right, let's get you there then.
Yummy.
Cool. And so just these couple of things together have really illuminated just the experience, even if it was just one time in a year. He flies way more often, but one time in a year that he didn't have his Platinum card for this trip, and he felt horrible, and it wasn't necessarily a monetary amount. It wasn't necessarily like anything out there. It was just an emotional experience, an emotional tie to what he was always used to. And actually, one other thing I forgot to mention, which was that he was telling me that because he wasn't able to get into the lounges like the Delta Sky Club, what have you, he actually was
had to go buy food, right? I think we forget that all the free food, the free drinks that we get from these lounges, that's something that people are paying for on a day-to-day basis anyway. So they ended up getting, I think, lunch and dinner, and maybe that was like a couple of times between, going there and coming back. So like that was all costs that were baked in, and I think he said maybe $50 each time. So all those costs definitely add up, even if it's like $30 to $50 just for, there and back for him and his wife. So something interesting to note nonetheless. It's like, yeah, people do have some sort of layover, or maybe you just get there late, who knows. But if you're buying food at the airport, you could effectively say that these lounges are footing that bill for you, which, we get a lot of food at the lounges. So just something interesting to note. Right back to it, baby.
Having learned and seen that experience through his eyes and his text and him talking to me, again, first world problems, but I realized what a life would be like without the platinum card. And I was able to go to the Delta Sky Club in New Orleans before our flight home to Greenville on the way home from this whole meetup. And I cannot tell you the joy that I had by going into the lounge with my wife, getting a free thing of wine, making our own tacos in there. The staff is cool. And then all of a sudden looking up, and our good friend JP Knowledge, who has his own YouTube channel, go follow him. He's got amazing, really advanced, information on his channel. But I was so amazed to see that JP is also coming in here at the Sky Lounge. And we had a 3-hour long conversation, since we both had a 3-hour layover, which is something that, yes, could have been done at the terminal, but it's different. It's just different. Okay. It's loud in the terminal. It's a bunch of people. Maybe you don't even get a seat. In the lounge, it's quiet. There's nothing happening. It's just, it's much more calm, especially when you're traveling with people who may have high anxiety or just don't like to be around a million different people. The lounges do help a lot with that. And, you know, and that's why I've never really ascribed a dollar amount necessarily to the lounges, but the emotional component to it, the experience of it, and just seeing my wife's face when she's hanging out, she's in the other room, hanging out in the lounges, the Centurion lounges, the Sky Clubs, and she's like, "Oh, I'm in bliss." Just seeing that alone, I don't know, it's worth more. Like, just seeing that, and even if it's one time per year, was kind of made me think, like, having her experience that kind of is worth it. As crazy or stupid as that it sound, you guys might be saying in the comments, "This guy's an idiot," but just seeing her face, and hanging out with JP, and all these different things, like having great conversations and learning a lot from JP, like, it's kind of a little bit invaluable. And I get it. I could just, become wealthier, and I could just start booking first class, business class only, and I could start getting access to Delta Sky Club. But I'm likely not doing that anytime soon, right? I'm going to be using my Delta Sky miles, going to be using my points and miles as much as I can. These different portals. So that's really how it's got to be from now on. So it's got to be main cabin or comfort plus, and that's it. And so, since I still do project out traveling, hopefully more into the future, more and more trips and more of these layovers in Atlanta and all these different other states that may have Delta Sky Clubs or Centurion lounges, it makes me really realize, like, yes, of course, it really depends on where you're flying out of, because, if we have the Capital One and I'm an authorized user on his, like, technically can get in for free at the Capital One lounges, but how often are we flying out of, what is it? Is it DFW also has one? And IED as well in Washington. Like, how often are we connecting there? Not often at all. I mean, I'm in Greenville, South Carolina. No matter where I fly, if it's Delta, we're going to connect in Atlanta. And if I'm in Atlanta, I'm going to the Sky Clubs. I'm going to the Centurion Lounge. And, I guess it does help that, every single time I go, I'm bringing my wife in, and that's $50 every single time. That free for me, but 50 for her to get her in. But that is covered under the Amex Platinum's $200 airline incidental fee credit. So I was able to use, a little over 100, maybe $150 worth of the $200 credit allotted on the Platinum card in literally just this one trip. I didn't use it the whole year. This one trip, I used $150 worth. So, go figure, you just have to do one trip, and I used most of it. So I thought that was pretty cool. So this leads me to, like, okay, you guys have heard my rap sheet, right? You guys have heard I'm a flip-flopper on the Platinum card. I've been able to replace a lot of things on the Platinum. I really do think that the lounge access might be worth it. So I developed a plan. And I've developed a plan to get the Platinum card back. But I'm not just going to do it the normal way. I'm not going to do it the way everybody tells you to do or wants you to do it. I'm not doing it the vanilla way. And that is why I actually canceled this card. And if you guys were unfamiliar, this is the Charles Schwab version of the Platinum card. If you guys were also unfamiliar, you cannot downgrade the Charles Schwab version of the Platinum card. You could only cancel it. You either keep it or you cancel it. There's no downgrade path. Now, when you have the vanilla Platinum card, like the one I canceled a couple of years ago, that one you can downgrade to like the green card or even the traditional green card for those of you who have seen those videos. And then, the gold card, what have you. So here was my plan. And let me know what you guys think of this plan ahead. This is a plan that, I've thought about. I've also heard a lot of people do, and especially in the venture capital Discord, Sledge, Cesar Joel talk about it. And I remember there was a particular moment when I was walking with Cesar Joel in New Orleans, and he turned to me and he said, I don't understand anybody who cancels the platinum card or like the green or the gold. He's like, I don't understand anybody who does. He said, if so, they're not doing it right. And what he means is, the reason I canceled the Charles Schwab Platinum card is because of this. So think about it. Right now, it is September 8th. The annual fee just hit, and we just canceled the card. Now, I know I'm not going to be flying for the next 4 months, at least. Into the new year is a different story. I'll probably be flying at some point after January. But at least from between September and January, I'm likely not going to fly whatsoever. So I don't need lounge access. I don't need hotel credits. I don't need any of these different things, but I will probably need it in the new year. So here is the best strategy. If you look right now on my Amex portal, if you look at my Amex Gold card, they're actually giving me an offer right now of spend $2,000 and you'll get 50,000 membership reward points within just 3 months. Like you spend 2K within 3 months, they'll give you 50,000 membership reward points to upgrade to the Amex Platinum card. Now, here's what's going to happen. I've already been on camera and I said a bunch of times, I'm going to cancel the Amex Gold card come February when the annual fee hits. But what if I don't wait till February to cancel the Amex Gold card? What if I just instead wait till December, whatever it has to be, December 20th, what have you, upgrade my Amex Gold card. Hopefully we still have a 50K offer for 2K spend. So that would be cool. Let's just say I have that. Upgrade the Amex Gold card, get 50,000 membership reward points to the Amex Platinum card. Now that's going to do a few different things. So what it's going to do is once I upgrade to the Platinum card, since I've held the Amex Gold card for 10 months, remember, February was when my annual fee is going to hit. Since I've held the gold card and since I'm going to upgrade to the platinum card, it makes it looks as if you've held the platinum card for 10 months. Now, I don't know what the actual math on that is, but you could probably imagine I'm probably only going to have to foot the bill of maybe $150 worth of annual fee based on the proration and how long I have held the platinum card. So once that hits, I'm going to be hit with a $150 annual fee in December. So what that's effectively going to do is initially going to give me 50,000 membership reward points, let me pay a $150 annual fee, and now I have a platinum card. I have access to everything again. But what that's also going to do is now that's a new card technically, which means I'm going to get the $200 hotel credit. I'm going to get the $200 airline incidental fee credit, which, probably used towards the United Travel Bank. I'm going to get my digital entertainment credits again, my Uber Cash again, the $50 Saks credit. So all in December, I'm going to be able to use close to maybe $500 worth of credits. Now, if you guys are familiar, and maybe you guys know where I'm going with this, the Platinum card's credits reset on what's called a calendar year, aka every January 1st, the credits are reset, which means I'm going to get my $500 of credits in December, wait a couple of weeks, January 1st hits, and now I get another slew of 500 credits to use, all on the exact same card. Again, another $200 airline incidental fee credit, and another $200 FHR credit. So in the span of literally probably a couple of weeks, I'm going to get not only 50K MR, I'm going to have to only pay the $150 annual fee on the platinum card, at least for a couple months until the actual $695 actually kicks in. But I'm also going to get $400 of hotel credits, $400 of probably United Travel Bank money, $40 or $50 Uber since December, you get a little extra money, and then some digital entertainment credit and something like that. In this way, effectively, you've gotten at least $800 in easy to use credits. I mean, you've essentially paid off your annual fee for the entire year. And actually, I still need to do global entry, which that would give me a cool, $100 or $120 now on the platinum card. So that would be another $120 I would get on that application for my wife and I. So all these different things that would just be icing on the cake. I guess just to lay it all out again, that would be 50,000 MR, hopefully. That would be about $700 or $800 in annual fees because you got to pay the $150 and the $695. $400 hotel credits, $400, we want to call it Delta Sky Club access for my wife, or we want to call it United Travel Bank, or just some Delta flights, what have you. Between some of the other credits that I'm going to use definitely in the first year, and then maybe $120 for global entry, something like that, which would literally end up totaling like maybe $1,200 or $1,300 in value or travel value on this one card. And wham bam, now we have the platinum card again, and we just basically double dipped all of our credits. Of course, if things change and I'm like, we're not going to be flying and whatever, then I'm just not going to re-upgrade back. But at least for now, I no longer have to pay the $700 annual fee, and I could just hold out as long as I want. But I would say if I really realistically think I'm going to be traveling more, and since I do, likely going to just upgrade the gold card. Now I don't have to worry about the $325 annual fee anymore on the new gold card, and I can have the platinum card for a much, much cheaper all in 1 year just by doing this special method, which is something that I learned from Sledge and Cesar Joel very heavily. Start taking your bets. Is he going to upgrade back, or is he just going to keep it canceled? Because, hey, listen, I got nothing to lose anymore, right? I don't have to worry about the annual fee. So this is just what I want to share. And again, real life experiences and learning through the eyes of another, which is Calby, realizing that maybe it would be a mistake if I had it canceled forever. But again, who really knows? Who really knows? But as always, I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here all the way to the end. And check out the New Orleans video, because I go through all of the lounges that I went to and all of the value I got from the platinum card all on this trip. So check out this video in the top right hand corner of your screen. And as always, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much.